Here with reaction, Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Senator, sounds to me like they have no problem on the left putting these guys' lives in jeopardy. That is outrageous to me, and I frankly think we should pass legislation against it.
Yeah, look, that kind of rhetoric is really dangerous and it's really harmful. And we've seen Democrats for a number of years now, number one, be openly hostile and antagonistic to the police, call for abolishing the police, call for abolishing ICE. There you've got Michelle Wu, the Democrat mayor of Boston, comparing ICE agents to Nazis. I mean, that is hateful rhetoric. And you've got Hakeem Jeffries. This is the Democrat leader in the House calling for unmasking, identifying these ICE agents. It is not at all subtle what he is calling for. And this is a party that embraces violence. They don't believe in law and order. And that first clip you played where their view of immigrants is they're here just to wipe their ass. I mean, that's disgusting. But it shows the contempt they have. They don't care about these people. These are the same Democrats that didn't care for the last 4 years, that every day we had little boys and little girls being sexually assaulted, physically assaulted by human traffickers. No Democrat could be bothered to care. They didn't care about the Americans being murdered, about the women being raped by illegal immigrants, because to them, it's all about power. And every illegal helps them stay in power. They're a future Democrat vote. And I got to say, it is sad to see. I'd actually like a reasonable opposition party and not a party that's just based on rage and hate and anger. And sadly, that's who today's Democrats have become.
Yeah, they want to champion the rights of men to play women's sports. They put the rights of illegals, so-called rights of illegals, over the safety of Americans. Now they want to dox agents at a time where violence against them has never been higher. And they think if you take out waste, fraud, and abuse and corruption, that somehow that's a constitutional crisis. That is the modern-day radical Democratic Party. Senator, let me get your take. What's your take on, when you have two very powerful men, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, they have a policy disagreement. It was less than a week ago. They had the nicest goodbye you could ever want. So I'm not exactly sure what happened. Not surprising in a way because but I hope it gets settled. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. Look, I think it's incredibly unfortunate. You and I are both good friends with President Trump, and we're both good friends with Elon Musk. They're both extraordinary men. And they've both done extraordinary things for our country. Elon is an incredible inventor and business leader. His buying Twitter was massively important. His leadership of Doge for President Trump was massively important. President Trump is doing phenomenal work every single day. His victory pulled this country back from the abyss. I'll tell you, Sean, I was in the Oval Office with the president when this back and forth began, and it's really unfortunate. They are both, I think, American heroes. They're both incredibly strong leaders. And listen, it's obvious they're both pissed off right now. I hope that both of them come back together, because when the two of them are working together, we'll get a lot more done for America than when they're at cross purposes. Yeah. And I got to say, on the merits, I think both of them are right. President Trump is absolutely right. We have to get this one big, beautiful bill passed, and we're going to. But Elon is absolutely right that we need to make the bill better, and I think the Senate is going to. We need to cut more spending, and I think the Senate is going to. I was in the Oval Office laying out multiple spending cuts that we can include to make this bill better. That's the outcome I hope we end up, because that's the outcome that really delivers for the American people.
All right, I think a lot of people agree with you. Hate to say it, Senator, but, I grew up fighting almost every day of my life. So a fight or an altercation of any kind doesn't offend me the way others feign such outrage and shock, and they just love the gossip. They lap it up. Senator, thank you. We appreciate you, as always.